Guys, this video is sponsored by Relevel platform by Unacademy. India's biggest startups like 1MG, Razorpay are hiring through this platform this year. You can get a job up to 15 LPA through this hiring. The profiles for which the companies are hiring involve business development role, front-end development role, back-end development role. Guys, for taking part in this hiring, you will first have to give a test, and on the basis of that test, a score will be given to you. And on the basis of that score, the companies that are partnered with this particular platform will be contacting you for the interviews. And once you clear those interviews, you will be getting an offer letter and you will be working in those companies. Now guys, there are two reasons that I want you guys to take part in this hiring. First is that this test is completely free. No cost will be taken from you for giving this test. And second reason is that it does not matter that what is your background. It might be commerce, it might be arts, but if you have the required skills, then you will be getting the job. Now guys, if you are interested and you want to know more about the syllabus of the test, you can visit this site and the link is in the description box. Guys, check out Relevel archives on Twitter to see how many people have started their dream careers through this platform. Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. Guys, in this video we will be discussing that what is method overloading, what is method overriding, and what is the difference between method overloading and overriding. And we will be explaining each of these concepts with the help of the code. So guys, make sure that you watch it till the end. Guys, this is my fourth video in the Oops for Interview series. The first three videos have already been uploaded on my channel. That includes 4 pillars of Oops, access modifiers, constructors, and destructors. Now this is the fourth video of this series. You can watch all these videos under the playlist of Oops for Interview. I will give the link of this playlist in the I button or in the description box. Guys, if you are new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe it, as well as join my Telegram group also. I post regular updates on different companies which are hiring, as well as the questions which are getting asked in the interview. So guys, now let's start this video, and before starting the video, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button for this channel, and all the links of the Telegram groups are given in the description box. Make sure to join them. Okay, so guys, first is method overloading. So guys, in method overloading, it is defined as the process of having two or more functions with same name but different parameters. Okay, so in method overloading, the function is redefined by using either different types of arguments or a different number of arguments. So what this definition is saying that in a particular program we can have two or more functions with the same name, but their parameters should be of different types or should be of different, or you can say different number. So for example, you can see that here are 4 functions. In each function the name of the function is same, but what is the difference is between the number of parameters in each function or the type of parameters. So for example, you can say that in the first function there is int a, that is it is a parameter of type int and it is only one argument. In second function, both the arguments are of the type of int, and you can see the number of parameters differ. And similarly in the third function, you can see that the number of parameters are 2 only, but the type of the parameters are different. That is, here it is string and then int, and in the above it was int and int. So this is an example of function overloading. In this particular in a particular program, there can be multiple functions with the same name but different type number of arguments or the different types of argument. So I hope this different definition is clear to you. Now next is, again, many of you get confused in a certain concept when asked in an interview. So if two functions have same name, same number of parameter and the same type of parameter but different return type, then they are not called overloaded. So in function function overloading, the compiler is intelligent enough to figure out that which function is called based on the parameters passed. Okay, but there can be certain cases where an interviewer can ask you that we have a function, we have two functions with same name and same number of arguments as well as same type of arguments, but their return type is different. So whether this is known as function overloading or not? So the answer is no, this is not known as function overloading. See, here you can see that both the functions have same name, same number of parameters, both the function have one parameter, and both the function have same type of parameter. So int a in both functions, but the major difference is between the return type. So here the function is not known as overloaded because here the compiler will get confused like which function we have called. So I hope the things are clear to you that these two functions are not called function overloading because the compiler will get confused that which function is called by us. So this was entire method overloading. Now let's just see the code for the better understanding. Now in this particular example, we have defined a class named helper, and in that helper we have defined two functions, one with both the functions have same name and one with one argument and second with the two arguments. Now I want you to know that the function overloading can take place outside the class also. Like in this example, I have taken an example where there are two methods with same name have been defined inside a class, but the function overloading can be performed with normal functions also. So we just have to define two functions with the same name and different arguments, then function overloading can take place outside the class also. So in this example, I will be giving the example when function overloading is taking place inside the class. Now see, we have defined two functions, function int a, and here this will return a, and second one is function int a b, and it will return a plus b. Now what we will do, we will using object, we will be calling these two functions. And now guys, the compiler, see, here is an object h1. Now we have defined h1.fun, and we have passed first argument 2, and then again we have defined h1.fun, and we have passed two arguments. Now how compiler will know that which function to call? So he will check by the number of arguments or the type of the arguments. Here you can see that in first particular function only one argument is been passed, so compiler will know that this function to call. And here in second function two arguments have been passed, so compiler will know that this particular function is called. So it will run accordingly. So let's just run this program simply, and it should print us, you can say, first function will print 2 and second function will print 5. So let me just end it. Okay, so let me just run it. Okay, so while we are running, you see that first function returned 2 and second function returned 5. Now see, now the case when we were discussing that if the two functions and parameters are same but return type is different. So in this example we have seen that the compiler is smart enough to know. But what if we just define two functions with different return types, and inside this will return simply, let's just suppose in this function will return a plus 1. Okay, so let's just see what will happen. Now see, in first function we have called a function with one argument, and in with 2 as an argument, and in second function we have called a function with 3 as an argument. So now what should be printed with your respect? So let me just okay, so cout a plus 1 we will do here, and the return type will be void. Now both the functions have same name and same parameters, but return type is different. So now when we'll run it, it will give us the error that these two functions cannot be overloaded. Okay, so see this, that these two functions cannot be overloaded. So I have told you earlier also, when the function name and the number of parameters are same, then return type won't make any difference, they will not be called as overloaded. So this was the entire concept of function overloading. Now why we do function overloading? We do function overloading so that the readability of the code increases, because for big programs we have to define so many functions and we have to remember so many names for different functions. So if we will apply a function overloading, then we will have to learn some less functions, but only the functionality of those functions will differ by the number of parameters passed. So this is why we do function overloading, and this is the entire concept of function overloading. I hope the function overloading is clear to you. Now we will see the function overriding. Now guys, before understanding what is method overriding, we must know that what is inheritance, what is derived class, and what is base class. For you, I will repeat it once again as I have discussed in the 4 pillars of OOPS video. The link is in the I button on the description box. Okay, so a derived class is that class that inherits some of the data members or the member functions from the base class. Derived class is the child class and the base class is the parent class. Okay, now method overriding. If derived class defines same function as defined in its base class, it is known as function overriding. It is used to achieve runtime polymorphism. Now function overriding enables us to provide specific implementation of the function which is already provided by its base class. Now I know this definition will not be clear to you. Now let's just simply understand with the help of an example. So first of all, let's just read the first line again. If derived class defines same function as defined in its base class, it is known as function overriding. Now see with the help of an example. So here, sorry, this is previous example, just a second. Okay, so you can see that here we have defined two classes. One is the base class, another one is the derived class. Base class is the class circle. And in it we have defined a method known as parameter, which will find the parameter of the circle. Next is the child class. Next is the derived class, where the class name is semicircle and it is inherited from the circle class. Now again in this class also we have defined a method known as parameter, and it will return the parameter of the semicircle. Okay, now see, What was the first line? The first line was if derived class defines same function as defined in its base class, it is known as function overriding. Now see, here we have a function name parameter. Again, here we have a function name parameter. So in the derived class, we have again defined a function that was already been defined in the parent class. This is known as function overriding. Why this is known as function overriding? See, whenever a class inherits, whenever an inheritance takes place, then the derived class acquires some of the member functions and the data members from the parent class. So if we had not defined this particular method in the child class, then this semicircle has already been inherited this perimeter function. If we had not defined this particular function, then this semicircle class had already gotten the perimeter function in it by inheritance. But we have redefined this perimeter function in the child class. So this is known as function overriding. This is the meaning of function overriding. When we have defined a function in a child class which has already been declared in the parent class, this is known as function overriding. Now why do we do function overriding? What was the need of declaring this perimeter function in the semicircle even if we have declared it in the child class or parent class? So it enables you to provide specific implementation of the function which is already provided by its base class. Now see, what was the difference? See, in this perimeter function, what was it returning? The name of the class is circle. Now this perimeter function is returning the perimeter of the circle. Now we have written a class semicircle. Now we want the perimeter of the semicircle. But if we had not defined this particular function, this function has got inherited, and when we will call this function using semicircle object, then the perimeter that will be returned will be this only. But this is not the perimeter of semicircle, it is the perimeter of circle. So to redefine the function this perimeter was doing, we have defined this perimeter function. So now this perimeter function inside the semicircle class will return the perimeter of the semicircle instead of circle class if we had not redefined this function. So now I hope that this method overriding has been clear to you. And why do we do method overriding? This is why we do, so that we can define the function of a function on by ourselves based on the class. Now let's just run it. Now see, we have defined. Now what we have done, we have made an object of the semicircle class. We have made the object of the semicircle class. So now we have this 3 as an input, that is this radius has been passed and we have called this particular function. And now since it has been redefined, it will pass the perimeter of the semicircle with radius 3. Now let's just run it. Let's just run it simply. Okay, then I will show you what would have happened if we had not defined this perimeter function inside this semicircle class. Okay, so you can see that this parameter has been returned. Please note it down, 24.84. Please note it down somewhere. So now let's just see what would have been happened if we had not defined this perimeter function. Now see, if we had not defined this perimeter function, this class is inheriting the circle class. So it means all the methods of the circle class would be inherited by this semicircle class. Now we have defined a semicircle object. Now we are calling the perimeter method with the radius 3, and it should have returned, it was supposed to return the perimeter of the semicircle. But since we had not redefined the perimeter function, it will return the perimeter of the circle. Now let's just remember 24.84 and now just run it. Since we have not redefined this perimeter function inside the semicircle class, now the thing that it will return the perimeter of the circle, that is 2 pi r. So you can see that there are change in value. So it is not the real. We have called this perimeter function with the help of this semicircle object. So this perimeter function should have returned the perimeter of a semicircle instead of the circle class. So whenever we redefine a function and we call that function with the help of the child class, object, then the parent function that was inherited becomes ignorant. That is, once we have redefined it, this particular function becomes null and void. This particular function becomes null and void for the compiler. This particular function becomes null and void, and whenever we will call this particular function with the child class object, the new function that we have redefined will be called, and the parent class function would be ignorant. It will not be called. So there are certain more concepts on overriding, like virtual like virtual functions, virtual keyword. So all these things will be covered in the next video. So make sure that you subscribe this channel so that you can get to know, watch the next video, and you get all the notifications of the videos that we are posting. So as this was method overriding, I have explained you with the help of this example. I hope the method overriding is clear to you, because this is a very commonly asked question in an interview. What are method overloading? What is method overriding? What is the difference between method overriding? So now method overloading is clear to you, method overriding is clear to you. Now let's just see what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding, and how you will have to answer this question to the interviewer. So first of all, method overloading and method overriding. So method overloading is used to increase the readability of the program. So I have told you that while I was explaining method overloading, it is used to increase readability of the program so that we do not have to remember large number of functions. Next is method overriding. Now method overriding is used to provide the specific implementation of the method. So as I have told you with the example, if we have to redefine the perimeter function inside the circle class, so that we get to know the perimeter of the semicircle instead of the circle perimeter that was inherited. So this was to provide the specific implementation. Okay, now method overloading is performed within a class. Now you can see that in method overloading only one class was used. Only one class was used to do method overloading. But for method overriding, inheritance is the necessity. Without inheritance, method overriding cannot take place. Next is, in case of method overloading, parameters must be different, because then only the compiler can know that which function has been called. But in method overriding, in case of method overriding, parameter must be same. Then only the overriding can be taken place. So these were all the differences. Whenever a difference is asked in an interview, make sure to give at least 2 points for the same. So guys, this was the entire video of method overloading, method overriding, and the difference between method overloading and method overriding. I hope this video was informative for you. Please hit the like button if it was. Please hit the dislike button if you don't like this video. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe this channel.